Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our book club. This is our second meeting of our Nikken University Book Club, and we've done these in the past, and we're going to continue working on books that matter, that allow us to understand ourselves better and the world that we live in. And of course, we are working through the answer. So we started 2 weeks ago with an introduction to this amazing book. And we're going to be combining ideas from neuroscience, entrepreneurship, and personal development to understand ourselves better and get some clarity about how we might use our beliefs and use specific strategies in order to create a better outcome in whatever entrepreneurial endeavor that we might be working on. So, this last couple of weeks, we went through the introduction, the question, and hopefully you were able to read that. If you haven't gotten a copy of the book yet, get a copy as soon as you can. The introduction was quite short, and we'll review it this evening. The introduction, the question that it's asking, and I'll just address it right here at the beginning, is how can I access unlimited abundance? And that's a big question. It's a big question. John Assaraf and Murray Smith are not holding back in asking that question. It's like, oh, what's the meaning to life, the universe, and everything? How can I access unlimited abundance? It's a big question, and hopefully it has a clear answer. But before we address some of the topics in the introduction, I kind of want to review the homework slightly through this question. So, what is unlimited abundance? And I'm going to ask you to think about a question corresponding to the homework from last time. So, the homework from last time was to do some visualization exercises in which you would consider your ideal future and what would your ideal future be. And at least for 5 minutes, you could do it multiple times if you wanted to. But I'm just curious, did anyone complete that homework assignment and want to give some feedback? Just Maggie, just virtually raise your hand. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Maggie, let us know. What was your experience doing that? Maggie, you are muted.
Okay, I had to find the button. This has been really fun for me, having, has so many opportunities to experience this kind of technology to imagine our future. And I think for some reason right now I was really ready for this exercise. I've had so much fun sitting in my beautiful easy chair here. I live alone. I live in this beautiful part of the world, in this beautiful condo, and imagining what would I do with that unlimited abundance. And so many things came forward for me personally, and also for, I have two sons and six grandchildren. The places we can go, as uh, Zeus would say, right? uh, imagining this cruise we're having next year when I turn 80, and my whole family is with me, and we're cruising up to Alaska, and we're just having this wonderful, wonderful time. And then my really good friend and I going to Italy in May for a spiritual retreat there with a company that I've been with before that's outstanding. So a 5-star spiritual experience. Who could ask for more, right? And the things I would have in my apartment, which is so cozy and comfortable, the extra things I would have, and how that would just be a bonus to what I already have, which is an amazing life. So thank you, Jeff, for that challenge, because it's been fun and it's been really, really enlightening for me.
Awesome. Maggie, I'm glad you had that experience. It sounds like you really took the exercise seriously and
I
considered
did. I
lots
did.
of aspects of your life.
Yeah.
So if you didn't do the exercise, have Maggie's experience this week and spend some time visualizing your ideal future. Sherelle?
Thank you. So I will know that I have made it. I have this vision of retreating into the forest, just having the trees be my neighbors. So as I visualize myself sitting in the forest beside my medium-sized tiny home, that was the vision that I kept. And after like the second or third day, I noticed myself just going on autopilot and just thinking about it. So it just, I don't know what happened. I guess it impressed on me so much, I guess, I'm not sure. But that was my happy place. And even when I was doing things, my mind would just autopilot there. And it still does it. So it was an awesome exercise. And it always brought a smile to my face when I was thinking about it. So thank you for that.
That's really beautiful. You're already kind of taking advantage of this power of directing your mind, of deciding where your thoughts will flow. And the idea that it started just happening naturally is super cool. Shrill, thank you. Sherry.
I have to say thank you too. I love this exercise. It's something that I do on my own occasionally. So when you put that as a directive, I was being very obedient. Here's what happened for me. There were times where I was getting stressed out about whatever. I felt myself getting in kind of a low vibration, and I would remember the exercise. And I tell you, it blows my mind every time. It delights me every time how quickly I am able to change my energy, change my vibration, change my attitude by simply going through this exercise. And I found myself not only doing it anytime because it was like it was a trigger for me when I was feeling kind of, low, something was frustrating me to move into this. And then what I started doing then also is it's been the last thing I do at night. So I put my sleep mask on and I go into this place and I don't know how far I get because I go to sleep, with our sleep products. But that's a bonus to do it also right before I go to sleep. So it's made for great sleep. So I love it.
Awesome. Sherry, thank you. Yeah, a very cool idea to consistently change your emotional state, your psychological state, your mental state through what can be a really simple exercise, Gloria.
Well, I struggled with this like I struggle with the life cycle. To, I'm not one to picture material things. Um, and so those wants have never been in the forefront, those pictures and things. I've never put a car or an airplane on my, life cycle. But as I got thinking about this, true abundance, what do I really want? It became everything about um, giving. I want to donate to more organizations. I want to support local, chapters of things. I mean, it's just that's where my heart just felt that lift. And so there's not always a picture for that, but I'll find it and I'll put it up. But that was a flip side. It wasn't all the joy at first, but I fought for it and found it.
Yeah, and the ideal life may include material things, it may not. It depends on the person. It's different for everybody, which is great because there's 8 billion people. And although we have similar hopes and desires, right? Most people want to love and be loved and, do meaningful, purposeful work and give service. But in terms of what someone's ideal life is, it's different for everybody. I just went to visit my brother and he's got 4 kids and a lot of grandkids. And they just built a new home and it's a space where the whole family can gather. And my ideal home, since I've got siblings who have big houses, would be Cheryl's tiny home in the forest, a small place that can be mine that's beautiful and lovely, and it wouldn't have to cost a lot, but that would be ideal for me. It's different for everybody, obviously. Bela, Bela, you're me.
There. Thank you, Jeff. Um, I've been doing this exercise for a number of years now. So I had synthesized my feelings about abundance, how to create abundance, down to one thing, that all my needs, when required to be fulfilled, would be fulfilled by the universe. And how would I attract that kind of alignment with the universe? I have come to believe that it is in the feeling state. How do I want to feel? So I leave it open to the universe as to what form my desires are fulfilled in, but how they make me feel. So if they give me joy, then it's in alignment. If they give me purpose, it's in alignment. If it gives me the ability to serve the highest good, that keeps me in alignment. So I just continued with that. And funny thing is, I said to you at the beginning of the call, John Assaraf has taken over my life. Well, I hadn't followed him for a number of years. And right after you told us that we were going to be studying this book, I started getting emails from him again for his programs. And and so I attended a master class last week and I actually signed up. So I've been doing this exercise with John Assaraf. So it's quite interesting how the universe provides what you need, because what I ask from the universe is whatever is in my highest good, let it appear. To me, that signifies living in a state of creative abundance. So it's all synchronistic, it's all serendipitous, and I'm just over the moon. So
Fantastic. Bela, thank you. I love this idea of your ideal life being connected to the emotion of joy, and whatever manifests or create joy is part of that for you. Yoko,
Well, Jeff, what attracted me to Nikken initially was humans being more. And I've always been all focused on family. And it's the fact that I finally did accomplish taking a family of 9 to Japan for 2.5 weeks to be able to see their roots of where our family is based from in a particular farm area, in a particular area of Hiroshima, was something that was, I always called a real dream. And it all came through. I came back last week, and it's an amazing situation that the whole journey has been completed. So no matter what it is, it will happen. It will definitely happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yoko, that is great. I'm glad you were able to do that with the family. That must have been an amazing experience. So I want everybody to participate in this. Really, the first two paragraphs of the introduction kind of ask this question in a new way: your ideal life, your ideal future. It focuses on what is the dream? What is the dream? And getting clarity about that, identifying for yourself what the dream is. What does it include? What kinds of experiences? Who are the people? What are the achievements or accomplishments? What are the connections that are part of the dream? The places that you go, the kinds of talents, abilities that you have, the emotions that you share with others, the kind of life that you create, the business perhaps that you have, the places that you visit, the people that you're with. What is the dream? And I want you to share with people in a small group, what does your dream life look like? So, your idealized life, your dream life, what would be ideal for you? You're going to be in a small group of 3, and we'll have about 5 minutes. So it's about a minute and a half, 2 minutes per person. I'll send a message when it's time to go on to the next person. About 5 minutes total. Just when you see the prompt, just join your group. So there'll be a prompt that comes up on screen inviting you to join your group. You'll be put in a room with 2 other people, 3 of you. The first person can start and just answer the question, share with your group, what does my dream life look like? Take about 90 seconds, and I'll send the prompt when it's time for the next person to go. You don't have to keep track of time unless you want to, but do make sure and move on to the next person when you get the prompt from me. So everybody has a full 90 seconds, 2 minutes to share. What does your dream life look like? Any questions? Okay, go ahead and join your group. What does your dream life look like? Go ahead and join your group, and the first person can start and share. Nancy, I'll assign you to a room. Make sure and join your group, everybody. If you're still here, Maureen, Jack, Lorraine, if you want to join a group. Nancy, I'll put you with the group. And if you're watching the recording, you can just consider, you can think about what your dream life, think about, you might want to think about the 5 pillars of health, the 5 pillars of wellness, and think about those different categories that are included in a healthy mind, body, family, society, and finances. And you might want to think about in each of those categories, um, what are the ideal things that would be part of your life, be part of your experience. So maybe start with healthy mind and think about the kinds of things you'd be learning, the kinds of things that you would be studying intellectually, the growth that you would be working on, new skills that you'd be gaining, or new knowledge. So maybe think about that for healthy mind. You might want to think about your emotional life along with healthy mind, the emotions that you would feel on a regular or a consistent basis. Would you feel joy, peace, love, happiness most of the time? Would that be what you feel consistently? Would you feel emotions like fear, anger, worry, upset, anxiety? Perhaps you would feel those less of the time. You might want to think about your spiritual life, your connection to the universe, to God. How often might you meditate or pray? What kinds of things would you do to feel more connected in a universal way? So, healthy mind, you might want to consider what your life would be like if everything were ideal, perfect in that area. And then you can think about healthy body, the area of healthy body. What would your life be like if everything were perfect in that area? If everything were ideal, would you be exercising? What kind of foods would you be eating? How often would you um, drink water, hydrate during the day? How much sleep would you be getting at night? What would your weight be? What kind of recreational activities would you participate in? Perhaps think about the ideal life for you in that aspect. And think about healthy family. Think about your connections with those people you care most about, those people that you love. Think about some of the goals or outcomes you might want with that group, the way that people communicate, speak to each other, the level of loyalty that's shown, Maybe there would be similar goals, objectives you would have. What some of those objectives or goals might be. Maybe to eat more more often together as a family. Maybe to have family reunions. Maybe to take vacations together. Think about some of the things you'd want to do in that area of healthy family. And then think about the area of healthy society. What are some of the things that would make ideal for you in that category, in that area? What would your life be like if you were volunteering on a regular basis, if you were serving in your community, if you were giving to others? What kind of charity might you give? How might you give back? Think about that aspect of your life and how you might give to others. And finally, healthy finances. If everything were ideal in this area of your life, what would your life be like? Um, what kind of material possessions would you have? The home you live in, the car that you drive? What would be the work that you would do? What kind of a career would you have? How would you use your money to bless others? How would you use your money to give back? What are some of the ways that you would use money for enjoyment? Would you travel? Would you give gifts to others? How much would you save each month if you were living your ideal life? Think about. Think about that last category. Barb, did everyone in your group have a chance to share? Barb, you're on mute, but you can just say yes or no. Barb, I can't hear you because you're muted. Welcome back, everybody.
Yes, we did.
Okay, thanks, Barb. We'll wait just a moment longer for everybody. You'll all be back in 10 seconds. So thank you everybody for sharing with your group. Hopefully that was enough time for people to share a little bit about what their ideal or perfect life might be like. And hopefully, as some of the people who shared before we started, you make a decision to use that as a tool. That might be something that you want to use on a regular basis where you just kind of pause and make a choice to think about this is what I am creating for myself. This is the ideal life. So I'm 56 and I started thinking about my retirement. And I don't know if that's too early. I don't know. You're laughing, Karen, but I didn't really think about it really till I hit like 55. When I hit 55, I thought, oh, I'm going to retire someday, whatever that means, right? I mean, I'll always work and serve but in terms of having a full-time employment, I don't know if that's something I'll do forever.
Don't you love your job?
Of course, I absolutely do. I love
Do
my
you
job.
really want to retire?
Well, it'll probably shift and change into something else, right? Something that's more service related and um
This is service related.
yes.
Yeah, Jeff, what
Stop
we're all
arguing
saying,
with me.
we don't
I'm
want you to retire, Jeff.
okay,
We
well,
love you.
Well,
I
you asked the
know.
question, is it too early? And I'm like, yes.
I'm not going to retire at 56, maybe
It's a
67,
great
70.
vision.
You can do whatever you
Anyhow,
want as
when
long
I
as you facilitate HBM.
okay,
Okay, I'm done.
when I was in my 40s, it's like it didn't even exist. The concept, it's like someone who's 15 thinks they're never going to die. So what I'm trying to communicate to you is
We're listening, Jeff.
it
We're
didn't
listening.
become something that could happen until I, turned mid 50s. Then I started to think that it might be something that occurs. But I've started to think about what I want. And here's the point I'm trying to make. If everyone would mute themselves and be quiet, please.
Okay,
The point that
got it.
I'm trying to make. The point that I'm
Push-
sharing, you're
You
not
pushed
muted.
a button here for
I'm
us.
just trying to share, and
Triggered
we
us.
have 5 minutes left, and I have a ton of material to get through. So everyone, shh. The point I'm trying to make is that I want my 60s and my 70s and my 80s to be exactly what I want it to be. As I go through transitions in the future, and whether that actually includes the word retirement or not, I want my future to be exactly what I would like it to be. I would like to have a sense of an ideal future or a dream life. So this chapter asks us to get clear, this introduction about what we really want. And specifically in terms of an entrepreneurial endeavor, whatever that might be. Whether it's something that you're doing on your own independently, a small business, whether it's a larger kind of an endeavor. And, there are individuals who are working in Nikken who have a really large organization that they have to be responsible for. But the question that the chapter asks us is, how are your entrepreneurial endeavors, how are those connected to this dream life? And getting really clear about the connection between those. We do live in a society where work is required, where we do need to create and give back in order to live. And as a result, most of us choose to be involved in entrepreneurial endeavors or employment of some kind where we can earn and create a path for ourselves. And your dream life, John Assaraf is suggesting, your dream life should be connected to your entrepreneurial endeavors. They match up. Something that he shares is his involvement in The Secret. And of course, this is a very well-known film. Many of you probably have seen it, and it covers the ideas of the law of attraction really clearly. But in his investigation, and in his participation of The Secret, what he found is many, many people being unclear about how they turn the ideas into The Secret into a reality, how they make them practical and apply them. And that's where he brings up the question that kind of serves as a foundation of this introduction, which is, how can I access unlimited abundance? And obviously, everybody has to identify what that means to them. What abundance, what unlimited abundance is for you, what's present, what is there when you're living your abundant life, what are the experiences that you have. And there's no right or wrong answer to what abundance is for each person and each individual. It's something that everybody has to decide for themselves what unlimited abundance is. He makes the point here at the beginning of the chapter that it may be the key to experiencing this abundance, is the idea of experience. And he mentioned Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I briefly wanted to bring it up. There it is. That's Heisenberg's uncertainty principle mapped out. That's not necessarily clear. So I found a better diagram. I'm sure you've heard of this before, but you can see here on this diagram that we have an electron, the red circle near the bottom of the page, and an electron is on a path. And in order to detect the electron and where it's going, what they do is they fire what's called the incident photon. They fire a beam of light at the electron to figure out where is it located, where is it going, what's happening, right? This is basic physics. And in order to do so, in order to find out where the electron is, they affect its movement. So the observation of the electron changes what the electron is doing. So it stops going on its accepted path, and all of a sudden it has a new path and velocity. They've got a microscope so they can see this happening. But the observation of what's going on causes reality to be different. It's a really interesting idea, and Assaraf brings up this concept that when we as individuals, when we change the way that we look at something, when we choose to perceive something or look at it in a certain way, the thing that we're looking at actually changes in response. And this happens on the level of particles in terms of atomics and the physics, the world of physics. It's a really important concept. When we observe something, when we perceive something, think about something, we actually end up changing the thing that we're observing. And the purpose of the answer, one of the purposes is to help us perceive differently, to see things and to look at things differently. That might be our businesses, to think about them and to interact with the concept of a home-based business or being an entrepreneur in a different way. Or it might just be in terms of life, how we experience or think about life in new and different ways. And this is connected to the idea of getting clear about cause and effect and realizing that we are not necessarily just an effect, but we are a cause. We're an observer. We can perceive the world and we can be someone who initiates this cycle of cause and effect. And there are two general areas that we're going to be looking at in the text. One of those that we're going to be looking at consistently is belief and the beliefs that we have, the beliefs that we possess. And then the second are strategies and the strategies that we use in order to create the results that we're looking for, whatever those results might be. And it might be money, and it might be emotions, it might be financial freedom, it might be an extraordinary life. You get to decide what those results are that you're looking for, but we will use this concept of beliefs and strategies, those two ideas repeatedly. A final message that the authors give us before they close the chapter is that they will help instill confidence within us. They will share information and they're going to provide us with a step-by-step action plan, step-by-step things that we can do to get this reality. So they have one purpose. They're describing one purpose with this book, and that one purpose is to answer the question, how can I access unlimited abundance? It's a great question. I'm looking forward to their assistance and help. It's the whole purpose of the book. The answer is to help us answer that question. How can I access unlimited abundance? So I think that's going to be exciting. I think it's something super exciting for us to work on together. All of us want that. We want to create it now and in the future. We want it for ourselves and those people around us who are most important to us. We want to answer that question and really get clear about what extraordinary success is, what it would be. So, your homework for next week, and we will be meeting next week, visualize or write about your ideal business. So this is going to require some clarity. And if you want to write half a page, that's fine. If you want to think about it, you can do it. Writing it down might be more powerful, so you get something on paper. But what is your ideal business or entrepreneurial endeavor or service, way of serving? The book does focus on the idea of what it is that we are doing in order to create the results and that we're looking at. So perhaps think about that during the next week. So when we come back next week, you can give a report. What is your ideal business or your ideal entrepreneurial effort like? What does it look like? How does it run? How does it operate? Who's involved? What does it do? We will be meeting next week. That's July 16th, same time. And this week, over the next week, please read chapter 1. That's Inside the Box, John's story. That's the first chapter in the book. And of course, do your homework, visualize or write about your ideal business, your ideal entrepreneurial effort or endeavor. What is that? So thanks everybody for joining us at the Nikken University Book Club tonight. Sorry for getting frustrated with you, but I like going 30 minutes. And everyone was disagreeing and getting me off track. So,
Yes, could
yeah.
I just say something?
Yes, Michelle.
Yes, you can retire at any age. My hubby retired when he was 54 after 37 years on the railway.
Well, to be honest, I never started working, to be
Yeah,
honest. I finished university and I kind of just done what I wanted to ever since then. So
that's
people
perfect.
pay me money for what I do, but I don't really feel like I've necessarily ever had a job or work. I know many of you feel the same way about the kind of vocation and endeavors that you have. Um, but I have started thinking about what do I want my 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to be like and about. And I wasn't thinking about that in my 30s and 40s at all. And it's kind of exciting to me actually now, being in my 50s, to think about that and what that might entail.
Do you
Often people call that retirement. I don't know what I will call it, but I'm excited about the future. Sherry?
Mr. Masuda had a wonderful saying that we're all irreplaceable because we are you, right? Because we are, I think that's how it goes. And I would say in your leadership position, you are especially irreplaceable. So,
Okay, thank you,
okay,
Sherry.
that's where it
Thank
went.
you.
Okay, bye.
So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Do join us next week. I have something that I want to share with you right when I stop the recording. So if you want to stick around, you can. But thanks everybody for being here tonight.